B,
Yes.
writing skills.
Yes. Yes.
Now, in this section,
Right.
kaise bhi karke, I want all my students across India, in Gujarat, in Surat, to score 18 out of 18. 100% से नीचे चाहिए ही नहीं.
Exactly.
अब super से भी ऊपर का tips you have to share with all my students.
Yes. So I am in a position to answer these questions well. Why? Because I have been evaluating questions, the answer sheets since many years. So what I have found is in those topper answer sheets and everything, they are very specific with their answers. Number one. So they read the questions carefully. Now there is a catch. Normally students take it for granted. Notice means it will be like this. Invitation means it will be like this, and they miss out on fine prints over there. So they need to read the questions very, very carefully and cover all the points which are mentioned in the question. Because here many students miss out on certain things. So that is number one. They need to read the questions very, very carefully. Because lot of informations are given in the question nowadays to make it simpler for the students to think. Why? Because they want to evaluate their writing skills. So if they spend a lot of time on thinking, then writing may suffer. So lot of informations are given in the question so that they can focus on writing. So question has to be read thoroughly, 100%. Now, taking question number 3, that is notice writing. So basically, you need to put in all writing sections. Again, one more thing I would like to include over here is you need to put yourself in the reader's side and write. So once you write, you have to see that if I am the reader, am I getting all the informations which are required to be got? That's the time you will find out, okay, something is missing, which you can include in your answers. So that is again a critical thing. You need to put yourself in the reader's side and write the answers. So in notice writing, the format is very much there. You need to follow that to the T. Now, it should answer the questions what, where, when, and the likewise points. Now, suppose there is a question which talks about some national player coming for the program. Now, the question will only say national player, but you need to write the name of the player. Now, it can be any hypothetical name also, but since you are writing a notice, you are aware about all the details of the program. So, you must be knowing the name of the player also. So, like this, wherever such names are given, persons are mentioned, you need to incorporate some name over there. Another thing which I have come across is if the question is saying Arun Pandey is coming. So when you write, you should write Mr. Arun Pandey, not just Arun Pandey. Okay, because these are all written communications, they are the evidences. So we need to be as clear as possible in our answers. So these are the tips for the notice writing. They need to be very clear about the question first, and the answer should answer all the points which are required to be known by the reader. So that is as far as notice writing is concerned. Then comes a invitation and reply. So invitation is again of two types: formal invitation, informal invitation. Again, formal invitation is again bifurcated into two parts. When we invite an individual, then we have to write it in a letter form. But if we are inviting a lot of people together, like masses, like wedding or some annual function or anything like that, then we have to make the card type invitation. So this has to be very clear, because many a times the question doesn't tell you what kind of invitation you have to write. So you need to keep it very clear. When the invitation is for an individual, it has to be a letter type invitation. And when the invitation is for the masses, it has to be a card type invitation. Otherwise, the marks will be deducted randomly. And then there'll be informal invitation. Again, you write informal invitation individually also. So it will be again a letter type invitation. So this is as far as the invitation is concerned. Replies, again, the reply is sent by an individual only. So again, there will be letter type replies only. Now, formal invitations will take the format of formal letters. Informal will take the format of informal letters. So those formats are to be followed to the T. Invitation should be focusing on what is this invitation for, when is the event going to be held, where is it going to be held, if any time duration is there, then you need to give the address also. Now, suppose we are writing card type invitation, so we will write the venue address over there. So in that we have RSVP, that is where the reply is expected. So that address has to be different than the venue address. Why? Because you will be at the venue on that particular day only, whereas the reply is required before the event. So that address has to be different and specifically mentioned so that invitee can reply over there. So these are the things to be taken care of as far as the invitations are required. Formal invitations will take the formal language. Informal invitations will take informal language. Means formal language means we have to write it in third person pronouns. And informal, we can use first person and second person. I, me, my, you, your. All those can be used in informal. But formal ones will require formal language, and that has to be written in third person pronouns only. Same goes for the replies also. Now, when you reply, again, you need to take care of three things. Number one, you need to congratulate the inviter for the event for which you are being invited, because it's an event. So something good is only there. That's why you are being invited. So you need to congratulate them for that. Number two, you need to thank them for the invitation extended to them, you. And the third thing is you need to say whether you are attending it or not. If you are attending, then you have to say how and when you are going to reach the place. If you are not attending, then you have to give a reason for declining the invitation. There can be any genuine reason for which you are not able to attend it. So that reply will again have two parts. Sometimes the question tells you that you have to accept the invitation or you have to decline the invitation. So that time you need to be very specific. But if nothing is mentioned, you have a choice. You can either accept the invitation or you can decline the invitation. So this is as far as the invitation and reply is concerned. That is question number 4. It is also of 4 marks. And all 4 marks can be got very easily. Once we take care of these small things, it's 4 marks are in the bank. It's like that. Next comes question number 5, that is letter writing. So it takes the format of the formal letter again. It's letter to editor. Now here again the children make mistake is when the question is asking write a letter to the editor of a national daily or a local daily. They think that national daily or local daily is the name of a newspaper. But it's not that. National Daily is a newspaper which is published from various cities of the country. And Local Daily is a newspaper which is published locally. So you need to write the specific name of the newspapers rather than writing National Daily or the Local Daily. So that is something which children make a mistake in that. So they need to be very clear about this part. And the address can be like this: the editor. Next line will be name of the newspaper, and the third line will be the name of the city in which this newspaper office is located. In the letter, this much is enough, but these 3 lines should be there. So that is as far as the 2 address is concerned. Now, what I teach my students is like the letter can be written in 4 paragraphs and we can divide them logically to make sense. So the first paragraph will be introduction of the writer and the introduction of the topic. The topic should be elaborated more than the what you have written in the subject line. So it has to be a detailed detailing of the topic, subject at hand. So that will consist of first paragraph. Second paragraph, you need to write the CCTV view about the topic. Now, normally, letter to editor is about some concern. So something is happening which is not expected to happen, which you are addressing. So whatever is happening, you have to write there in the second paragraph as being captured in the camera. Now there won't be any emotions or anything. Camera won't capture emotions or dialogues or anything. So you just have to write what is so, the ground reality about the topic in the second paragraph. Now the third paragraph is the impact. Now whatever you have written in the second paragraph carries an impact, and different people will be impacted in different manner. Like suppose if I am talking about uh, potholes on the road and streets like
Stray animal problems.
stray animal problem, suppose. Now, if the stray, we have already mentioned everything in the second paragraph. Now, how to go about the third paragraph? So, it is an issue about the residents of the area. So, how are they affected by that? It is an issue about the municipal corporation. How are they affected by that? It is an issue about the ranking of the place or the city. Now we are managing all these things also. So how are they going to be affected? And the doctors who are going to treat if anything happens like this. So all these different entities, how are they going to affect by this? Whatever we have written in second paragraph needs to be written in the third paragraph. Why to do that? Because see, the purpose of writing the letter is to get an action initiated about whatever we are writing. We want to deal with the issue. Now, the authorities may be aware about one or two entities of impacts. But when we write so many, they will also realize, okay, so many are affected, so much is getting affected. So let me take an initiative to deal with the issue on a faster basis. So to initiate faster action, this impact paragraph works a lot. Okay. And then the fourth paragraph is all about the solutions or the advices, the appeals, the requests, suggestions, anything. So that's how the whole letter can be completed in 4 paragraphs. And when you do this compartmentalized, your thoughts also will be limited to those only. Nowadays, what happens is when they are not clear about it, they write anything anywhere. And by the time they have written certain thing, they realize that whatever I want to write now would have made impact in the second paragraph more. But then they have already reached the end of the letter. So when you have this kind of compartmentalization, your thoughts are also going that way, and you can include everything in a logical manner. So if you see, there is a logic also. The editor, when he reads, he or she reads. So first he comes to know who you are and why you are writing. Second, what is the actual problem? Third, how the people are, everybody are affected by that. And fourth, possible solutions. So it doesn't make them think much. They are already provided with everything. Now the only thing is the action part on their thing. And that's how it becomes that much more effective letter. So this is how they can go about with letter to editor. Coming to job application letter, again we know for one vacancy also there are thousands of applications coming. Now it's practically impossible for the recruiter to go through all the applications. Now it's very clear whoever matches the criteria would have only replied to the vacancy advertisement. So now biodatas will be more or less same. So the make or break thing is the application part. That's where you need to make an impact. So again, the format will be formal letter. First paragraph, you need to write who you are, and you need to mention from where you got the information about this vacancy. So if it is a newspaper, you need to write the name of the newspaper as well as the date also, the edition, because it acts as a research for them, because they give advertisements in multiple media. But then from this, they will evaluate which media works better for them. which day advertisement works better for them. So next time they will take care of those parts. So that becomes a research thing for them also. So we need to mention the name of the newspaper, magazine, whatever source is there, and the date or edition of that particular newspaper, magazine. So this will form the first paragraph. Second paragraph is all going to talk about your soft skills, which cannot find a place in the biodata. Biodata is all about tangible things basically. So here we need to put forward all the intangible things which makes you different from others. So it can be anything right from being responsible to a good time management person, to a humble person, to an empathy filled person, to a go getter, to you can say anything which is going to match the post that you are applying for. Now, different posts will require different kinds of soft skills. So you need to write accordingly. Now, if I am a marketing manager, post applying for marketing manager, I should be good at communication also. So that will come over there. Now, if I am applying for data entry operator, communication is not required. Communication skills is not that important. There, my typing speed will matter. So, based on the question, we need to write all those things, and that's where it will be a different one for you. So, second paragraph is make and break paragraph for the job application. Third paragraph, you need to mention that you are enclosing your biodata along with this letter, and you can request for personal interview. Now, again, here you can say you can request to give you a lead time of about 3 days before calling for interview. Here, why so? Because wherever you are working, you don't want to leave that place abruptly by keeping your work incomplete or anything like that. When you get a lead time of 3 days, you can manage your work for the leave you are taking, and then you can go there. So that itself sounds being responsible. Okay. So this is what you can write over there. And then you can conclude the letter. And then you have to, next segment is biodata. So biodata, again, the different points are there. But then again, two things are very important about apart from the regular ones. One is you need to write your skills. So either you can write skills in the second paragraph or in the biodata, spatial skills you possess. And the next thing is references. It is very important because the recruiter wants to know you better. And who a better person than someone who is a responsible post holder in any company. So if you are knowing someone from a reputed company at a reputed post, you need to mention that person's name, post, company name, and his or her phone number. So if they want, the recruiter want, they can call and find out more about you from them because they are going to give their secrets in your hands. So they want to double check before recruiting you and holding you responsible for the work. So that references is very important. So this is how you can approach for the job application letter. Now coming to the last question of writing section. So the first part is article writing. Now again, we are coming across so many articles day in, day out. So how to make my article stand apart? The moment you start in a customary manner, people think, okay, this is one more like that. So the starting has to be very, very different, impactful, unpredictable. That's what is going to create that curiosity in the minds of the reader. And then they are going to read, and that will be the success of your article. So the starting can be any way. It can be either a thought, a quote, a poetic couplet, or you can mention about some anecdote or some hypothetical theory also, a story you can create and write, which is going to lead them into the topic. It should be relevant to the topic. So that is how they will put you into the reading mode of the topic. So this is how the beginning has to be very, very impactful and unpredictable. That is the first thing you need to take care of. That's what we see in the movies also. All movies don't start in the same manner, and that's where the things make difference. So that's what we need to include over here. Then second paragraph, again, as it is the CCTV view about the topic. Third paragraph, the impact of the topic. And fourth, the findings and the suggestions and the what you can say conclusion about the topic. Again, in the conclusion, you can have one of the things which you started with, because again, when you move out from the movie theater, at the end again they put forward some song or some famous song or dialogue or music which rings in your mind as you move out. So that's what you want to leave your audience reader also with. So towards the end also you can include something like this to make it completely impactful article. So this is how you can score very well in your article writing also. And then with article writing, we have an option of report writing. So report is basically reporting of an event which has already happened. So one of the key thing which students make mistake is they are so much adapt to listening live reporting that they write like live reporting. Okay. So that's where they miss out on the everything. But this is a newspaper report writing. So the event has already happened and now you are writing. So it has to be completely in the past tense. And that's where they miss out many a times. So it is very, very critical for the students to know that they have to write a newspaper report and not an TV channel reporting. So it has to be in past tense. And then there is everything is very clear what happened, where it happened, how did it happen, who all are affected by this. You can have eyewitness account also, which you can write in inverted commas, and that can be in the present tense or future tense also, because those are the actual spoken words. Again, refrain from giving approximate figures over here. So if 50 people are injured, you write 50 people. Don't write 45 to 50 people are injured. Be specific. Why? Because you are on the ground zero. You are reporting about things that have happened. So you have done the research and you are doing this. So be very particular about the figures that you mention over there. And at the end, you can write about government's role also into the event, whatever is thought by the people, what they expect out of uh, government for whatever has happened. Normally, reporting is done for the negative things only. But yeah, sometimes it is about the school event also. So there you can conclude with principal's remarks or the trustee's remark or the chairman's remark, something like that, to complete it completely. So that is how the report writing can be completed. Again, telling you, formats are very, very crucial and critical. So whatever I have spoken about the content of these topics. But the formats, you need to be very, very particular about.
Students, Guru ka gyan sabse mahan. If you want to seal 18 out of 18 in section B, that is writing skills, follow Rajesh Mehta sir's word.